to a new edition of the Golf Report, and it really is the Golf Report. I'm Harold Howe, we're here today with our golf consultant, Paul Edelman, to talk about Tuesday's upcoming course opening. How do we stand?
Well, Harold, it's been fantastic with the golf course open week. It's spectacular. Considering we almost had 2 winters this year, we had really good ending to the winter, looked promising. And then we obviously had large snowfall back in the middle of the month. But that's now gone. The greens, fantastic. All the darts came off about 3.5 weeks ago. No damage whatsoever, which is great relief to us. There's no ice damage in the fairways. We've got the first cut on absolutely all turf except for rest so far.
Talk about clean litter.
Well, I don't know if that got that, but no, that's great.
Well, that's good news. Now, this season, this past winter, we went on a rather intensive pre-cutting program. Some people, believe it or not, think it may have been too aggressive, that it's weakened the course. What do you say to that, and just where are we on that program?
Yeah, I've heard a few comments like that, Harold, but again, they're in the minority. The trees that came down were some really big ones, some big thunder hit the ground this year. Most notably, the tree on number 1 came down. That was identified as having some very serious structural rot in it by an arborist. And as it was identified as a severe hazard, it had to come down in a controlled fashion. If we had not done anything with that tree and it had injured somebody, the liability cost would have been massive.
And the trees that are taken down, how is the decision made? Who makes the decision on what gets done?
Well, the first thing we look at, Harold, is whether the disease or dead or dying. Those are the first groups that come down. And I would say at least 50 to 60% of the trees that are actually removed every year are either infected with chlamydia disease. They just reach the maturity age, they are declining, and they have to come down. The rest we look at, like playability aspect. Past years, they planted a little tiny tree about 10 feet from the fairway and never considered that in 60 years it would be approaching on turf health and whatnot. So, again, those ones make up about 40 to 45% of the mountain trees.
Over the last 5 years, there have been mountain trees taken out. How many did you have?
Right now, we're up to, I believe, almost 800 trees. That's the team program that this was, we talked about this with our USDA economist, David Otis, who came up. He said we could start at 1,000. That was about 6 years ago. So we're getting closer, but again, we feel the strategic removals, how the course plays. Standard Thompson didn't have this many trees on the front.
Do we have a plan for replenishing?
Yes, absolutely. The replacement of the trees would be in a much more strategic fashion. We've looked at trees that are native to Ontario, the Carolina forest. Ohio buckeye is actually an excellent tree. Still get sugar maples, silver maples. So yes, we would put those in. We've also put them in thinking about what the tree would be like in 50, 60, 80 years as opposed to tomorrow or next week.
As we do this, and the golf season is going to begin on Tuesday. But this year, we're having a change of plan, and we're going to do the Aeration, where areas have to be clustered men's golf. So tell us what that means for the membership plan, and is it in stone?
For this year, it will be early May. I believe we're looking at the 2nd of May to be close to the year in the ground, as opposed to traditionally we've done that right after the Pacific holiday in August. I presented these back to the board as to the pros and cons of doing them on different dates. And it was passed that we tried this year in May and trying to disrupt less disruption to the membership because it is a busy golf course. August is a very busy time. So we have done it in the past in May. We've had cool springs when we've done that. The year time has been longer than August. That would be the biggest issue I think the membership should see.
And what happens here if we have a real practice?
Real crappy sprint being cold, wet. We would still go ahead and aerate. We must aerate. That's absolutely essential. We cannot skip the aeration. Testament to that was how our team survived so well last year, considering the heat we aerated them. It's a large operation, but it helped our team survive quite a bit. So the job is we cannot skip. It's a cold, wet sprint. The aeration holes would take a little longer to heat up than they could in How how long that would take, Harold, is all completely dependent on whether we do the best we can, and then you guys will take over.
Do you feel good about going into the process from the golf superintendent perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really looking forward to this year. My grounds crews work non-stop for days to try to get us open as quickly as we can. I'm really pumped about this year. Yeah, we came out of the winter with that. It's fantastic. The city work is going to be stunning out there with a lot of people. Yeah, we're really pumped for this year.
Do you have all your team now, or still a few to come for the summer?
Again, we sort of had that second winter this year, so we bumped everybody's start date by a week. So the last of our group of guys will be arriving this coming Monday. That will fill out our complement, and then just a couple of students will see the benefits.
Good stuff. Well, I think everybody is in agreement. They took easy, and let's all have a great season.
Thanks very much.
This is Harold Howell with Paul Edmonton, the New Golf Report.